Welcome back, NoDQ Galaxy, to a brand new edition of the NoDQ Review, number 268 on this Sunday evening. I am Virtue, the moderator, being joined by this week's elite panel of the review. TJS is in the house, the reliable one, Walter Cruz, and of course, Aaron Rift. What's going on, gentlemen? There's football on tonight. Let's streamline this show. Let's get done in under an hour so people can go watch the game. TJS, what's up?
Very cold outside, but should be a hot show, so no worries. I have the Aaron Rift special here, Diet Pepsi, and I was actually able to find ice mountain water at the store, so I'm feeling good. That's going to be my cocktail tonight, so should be a fun show.
And if my internet gets slow and choppy, chat, let me know. Aaron, let me know. I'll bow out for a minute, and I'll go to my Wi-Fi, not my Wi-Fi, but my cellular connection, because it's cold. And who knows how it's affecting the cable internet services. Walter, the reliable one, You're back. What's going on?
Yeah, back, ready to get into it. Yeah, let's just jump into it because people got their football and stuff, so we'll make it quick for them.
Well, we are going to talk about CM Punk in the main event. CM Punk, hashtag CM Punk. He usually draws for us pretty well on this show. Yeah. All right, Aaron, what's going on?
Pretty cold outside. It's like 1 degree here in Michigan. So for those of you that are nice and warm in places like Florida and California, I envy you right now. But hey, we got a lot to talk about, and I say we take our time. Forget this football stuff. If you're here watching us live, that means you don't even care about the football that much. So I appreciate it, and I'm conflicted. If I was a football fan, would I be cheering for the Detroit Lions or would I be cheering for the Los Angeles Rams because I'm from Los Angeles? I'm not sure what the protocol is. Should you support your home team or should you support where you're currently living? Or do you just go with what you want? I don't care, so I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah, go with what you want. Now, Aaron, the chat can dictate this show tonight. I got 4 topics. They can super chat and make us talk about something else. Jack Perry. So that's up to them, right? How long we really go. And so if they're engaged, we'll go probably an hour and a half. If not, we'll go home under an hour and we can go play our video games, read a book, go to bed. So are you guys ready?
Let's do it. I'm ready.
We'll do our best cowboy impressions and go home.
First topic.
What?
Don't hinder Jinder Mahal. Now, you go back to his WWE title reign, coming off of being a jobber and losing. It's not like he was the U.S. champ, then boom, he was a WWE champ or whatever. You can criticize that all you want. Vince McMahon did it. They toured India. And then he went back to being a jobber. Off TV for a while. I think he was hurt too. He comes back to do a spot with The Rock just to kind of get us off the scent of what The Rock was going to say about should he sit at the head of the table. And Jinder did a pretty damn good job because people are talking about him. He came out the next week, basically challenged Seth Rollins, or there's going to be a world title match tomorrow night on Raw, I believe. Correct, Aaron? Is that when it is? Tomorrow night?
Correct.
And then Tony Khan decides to throw shade at WWE's booking at Jinder Mahal, which is just weird. I mean, Bischoff did it as a character on TV back in the day, and it did okay, and it backfired. It's just weird seeing it on Twitter, on X.com. And Jinder trended. I think he was briefly number 1 for a while under Sports Entertainment, number 2 when I checked. And Tony Khan got Jinder recognized heading into this title match. So good for WWE, good for Jinder Mahal. We know he's not going to win. We know he's not a Royal Rumble contender. But give us some filler, give us some intrigue. And if they play the match out tomorrow night with a couple close calls, just to screw with the fans, that would be great. How about one of those Jericho-esque false finishes where they actually have to restart the match or something? That would be cool, just to really get the internet talking and really kind of throw it back at Tony Khan. What does everybody think about this? TJS, I'll start with you.
Man, Jinder Mahal gets too much slander to me. Don't hinder.
He looks good, man. He looks good.
He does. And even when he was champion, that guy looked like $1 million with the he was jacked. He had the entrance. He had the headdress that, it was just awesome. Like you said, Virtue, he's not going to win, but I think he won over a lot of the WWE fans when he went on X and said, "Who the F is Hook?" And then he said, "Watch Raw Monday night." He ended up deleting that post, unfortunately, but I thought that was awesome. And I don't know. I feel like we're getting Jinder versus Seth at the Royal Rumble also. Like, I think that this match will either have like a false finish, a no contest, something like that. Shenanigans are going to cause Seth versus Jinder to be at Royal Rumble because, I mean, what else is Seth going to do? It doesn't seem like anything's being built up. But
now, TJS, hear me out. Seriously. I know we like our long title reigns. Gunther, Roman Reigns. We have to. Bianca Belair had it for a year. Would it be completely horrible if Jinder won the title tomorrow night and then the rematch happened at Rumble and Seth won it back? I mean, I don't know.
Hey.
Am I just because of what happened on Twitter, putting the guy over for a month?
You know,
I don't think, and then Seth would be 2-time champ. I don't know. Am I off base there? Again, I'm not expecting it, but if I was working for that company and you kind of play into getting people talking, well, why not have Seth chase at the Royal Rumble?
Yeah, you know what? Screw it. We'll get to it later, but there is someone that I think needs to pin Seth for that title eventually. But for now, if you want Jinder to win it and then lose it back at Rumble, why not? That breaks up the monotony a little bit. So
what if
we'll
Punk?
see.
What if Punk, like, his music hit and Seth got distracted or something stupid like that to start playing games with him? But again, that pipe dream, but that would be funny.
For sure. Yeah. So yeah. In short, I think Jinder looks like $1 million, and I don't think he gets enough credit.
All right, Walter, what would you like to add to Don't Hinder Jinder? I mean, all he did was come back. I know he was managing the other guys, kind of, sort of, and all he did was come back and have a segment with The Rock. And you know how WWE likes it, is bring somebody up, use them just to pass the time. That's what this is. That's what's happening here. But then, Tony Khan does that. I don't know. I would just find it. They don't probably really care about any of that, but I don't know. What do you think?
Well, first, the comment off your scenario, you just said that maybe CM Punk music hits. You could have him out there on commentating and then call Seth the match, and that's what sets up the match between Seth and Punk, because you don't really need the title for their thing, but Punk has to get to his main event at WrestleMania, so we got to talk about that later. But this is shades of like WCW that'll put butts in the seat thing that Tony Schiavone did on Nitro. Like, this backfired on Tony Khan, and they're both Tony, so go figure. But they just backfired on Tony Khan that he did this, and it made Jinder more popular. He's the #1 trend. WWE did the smart thing. It's an old cliche: strike while the iron's hot. So if everything's about Jinder, they gave him a title shot. How does that not make sense? Like, it makes sense. Everybody's eyes are on Jinder right now.
Yeah, and when I see marks like Steve-O, it's a hard no for me because Jinder hasn't been booked properly, and it would just be no. That's why if I was working for WWE, I would do it, because Steve-O's going to watch and bitch anyway. So, like, that's why I would do it. But I like seeing wrestlers getting their opportunity. Even like when Miz has the little couple of matches against Gunther, nothing happened, but those were some fun matches, right? At least we had like some of those false finishes. That's what I hope tomorrow night is, at least, with this match with Rollins and Jinder Mahal.
Yeah, and whether we like it or not, transitional champions are part of the business. So if you use them as a transition to somebody else, why the heck not? The only thing that'll hurt
the ultimate troll to Tony Khan.
Yeah.
Again, WWE being like so locked in at the top spot, they don't really acknowledge that stuff. But that could be a subtle way to be like, screw you, we're the kings around here.
I think I would cry laughing if Jinder won just because of that. But then, like, a part of me would be like, well, dang, Finn Balor couldn't beat Seth, because I wanted Finn to win that, and then it's like Jinder did that.
I'll take the false finish, the troll job, like the Jericho winning and then Triple H reversed it way back in the day. The troll job to really make people talk on the internet for a minute, but then it's reversed or something happens. Pierce comes out. That would be pretty cool. And then Jinder doesn't have to officially win the title, but they could really troll the fans.
I'm just hoping this is a resurgence for Jinder. Not that, like, you could take, sugar in the, the saying, but Like he's the out of nowhere, and he could take this popularity and just maybe bump his stock up a little, and maybe he can become eventual U.S. champ or IC champ and have a run with that. Like, just maybe this will bump him up. Like, who knows? So, don't hinder the gender. Let him do what he's got to do. And he did something all of us only wish we can do. He made it to the biggest company in the world. He looks good. He's a superstar. So we can't talk about anyone who, even Brooklyn Brawler, who care? Anyone who's made it has made it. You can hate all you want, but they're doing something you only wish you can do.
Hey, and back to 3MB, two of those three guys, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. 2 became world champions when they came back to the company. So, all right, well, thank you, Walter. Aaron, any thoughts here, any super chats? And then we can move on to the next topic.
First of all, I just wanted to say thank you, Tony Khan, for drawing up interest in this match. I think that Tony might be the promoter of 2024 just for this move alone. Thank you, Tony Khan. We love you for that. I'm looking forward to this match. Now, could we see a shocking title change? Never say never. It's WWE. Anything can happen. You got Damian Priest with the Money in the Bank contract. He could potentially cash it in during this match. Like, that's a possibility. Even though it seems predictable, Seth Rollins beats Jinder Mahal. Like, you never know. And I feel like even just what happened with Tony Khan this past week has made the match a little bit more unpredictable and a little bit more must see. Like before Tuesday, I was like, this is just a throwaway match. But now I feel like there's a possibility that we could see something very surprising go down. Now, we do have a few super chats here. First of all, This Guy Experience sent in a $2 super chat. So thank you for that. He says, so full circle, AJ did the same to Jinder, but at Survivor Series. Yes. So we'll see what happens here. Like, you never know. It's WWE. And yes, Seth Rollins winning and staying a strong champion to WrestleMania makes sense, but they could throw a curveball at us. Maybe Jinder wins. Maybe Damian Priest cashes in. Maybe Rollins has to regain the title at the Royal Rumble. Yep. You never know. Never say never. And Josh Mansfield sent in a $2 super chat. He says, howdy there, Virtue. How you doing, buddy? That's directed to you, Virtue. How you doing?
I mean, I'm here. I'm moderating again for the 260-someth time. I know a couple of those episodes with El Virtuoso. I think you did, Aaron, but good. I'm doing all right.
Doing pretty good. And Mr. Tito sent in a $2 super chat. Thank you for that, Tito. Says, real question, how is Hook 28-1 in AEW with no explanation?
Aaron, we were talking about Jinder, and the whole thing with Tony Khan stemmed from the Hook. I completely forgot about Hook until that tweet or that comment. I completely forgot about the Hook part of it. Crazy.
Well, the thing is, and Walter, I'll let you go in a second here, Hook has been like a ton of nobodies on Dark and Elevation, whatever. I think those shows are gone, but basically the C shows, Rampage, those types of shows. Walter?
I was going to say the same thing you just said, but I was going to say, that the tweet that Jinder deleted, I guarantee Triple H was like, erase that, because we might sign Hook when his contract expires. Get that shit off of Twitter. And I swear that was a WWE move too, because Troll, give it 2 years, whatever his contract is. I'm just guessing. I'm saying maybe 1-2 more years. If you don't think they'll sign him, got another thing coming. Watch Hook in WWE in 2020.
You know what? I think it's more Walter, because it was who the F is Hook, and I know F stood for the bad word. WWE still PG. So, that's probably more why.
Maybe.
I saw something. Was there really a Hook symbol, like the bat symbol? That was real?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, you should at least watch it before you criticize it, TJS.
I watch your recaps, Aaron. I cannot watch Dynamite anymore. I'm sorry.
Go look at the clip of it and then make a determination if you thought it was any good or not.
Okay. I'll do my homework.
All right. So I'm looking forward to the match, and I feel like we've summed it up. Jinder Mahal, good for him. He's got an opportunity now. He got to work with The Rock. He's had a little bit of a resurgence. Will his push last, or is this just a little temporary thing? Time will tell.
All right, next topic. Now, last week we talked about a couple faces showing up in New Japan, and you know how that works. A lot of times guys go over there and work matches, but still stay in their companies over here in the States. So a couple former WWE wrestlers showed up at TNA Hard to Kill. And I'm just going to name Dolph Ziggler, a.k.a. Nick Nemeth, is now in TNA, which is what it's referred to again. And Dana Brooke, and Aaron, I'm drawing a blank. I had it written down. What's her name? It's like, I don't know. Regardless, we know her as Dana Brooke. She's now going to be playing a character. Yeah, Ash. And it's very like maybe Tony Storm-esque or something like Hollywood. I don't know. But here we are. TNA seems to be pulling in some wrestlers. Yes, they don't have the TV deal. They're nowhere close to being WWE or AEW because of that very reason. But Dolph Ziggler went there, and see, I kind of care more about when WWE wrestlers go because they got that WWE clout. I know Jack Perry showed up in New Japan, and you guys can talk. To me, I don't really care about that. He came from AEW, and his name's not MJF. So, what's everybody's thoughts here on the former WWE faces showing up in TNA? I mean, seems like TNA wants to really grow into that third brand. Like back in the day, ECW was the third brand. Like, so there's always room to have that third brand. And I don't really know. We've talked about this in the past. We really don't know what that third brand is. Go ahead, Walter. I'll let you go first here.
I'm happy for that. I saw videos of Nick Nemeth. He looks so happy and rejuvenized being there. So man, good for them. You gotta go when one door closes, the old cliche, another one opens. So if TNA is gonna open their doors and you can make a good living, then go where you want it. WWE released you, so why not? And TNA has the best women's division there is. So Ash can have the opportunity that she feels like she's been given in WWE. And then Nick right away looked like a huge star. He went right after the world champion. That's where he came back, and he's already taping something today. So good for them. I'm happy to see them go with you where you want it and make money where you want to make money. So WWE is the top notch, but it isn't the end all be all. If you can't, if they released you, then there's always chances. And WWE might have an eye on him and bring him back. Who knows? We already talked about how Drew and other people came back, so we never know. So if there's an alternative to go, be happy, do what makes you happy.
Walter, who was the other person? Top Dollar or whoever he is now?
Yeah.
He's over there as well. So, hey, it's places for them to work that obviously are paying the wrestlers. So that's always a good thing. All right, TJ. Yes, Walter.
I forget his name. It's something dollar still, but I forget his name. It is something
bottom dollar?
Yeah. Probably.
All right, TJS. I didn't expect you to watch any of this stuff, but, obviously clips are always on x.com, youtube.com, the news on NoDQ. So we kind of knew it happened. So any thoughts from that perspective?
Yeah.
Or are you a big TNA fan? I don't know. Probably not.
No. I mean, back in the day, I thought TNA was like incredible, but nowadays, so I know they were promoting a big signing, something about like you'll never guess who's going to show up. I'm guessing that was Nemeth. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm happy for these release talent that they found a job and that they've landed on their feet, but Nick Nemeth and TNA, honestly, all of these in TNA, just for me, because I don't really think they're going to light the world on fire being in TNA. Like I said, I'm happy for them, happy that they found a job. But yeah, I mean, I guess it makes sense. We can't have everyone go to AEW because the roster is already bloated. So being in TNA, maybe that's the right spot for them. I've always thought that Top Dollar, this guy screams TNA World Champion to me. Like I could definitely see him winning the world title. He's physically a bigger guy, not a big star, but just a bigger guy. And I think his gimmick says TNA a lot. So I guess we'll see. But I'm wondering if Nick Nemeth is exclusive to TNA or if he's able to work in JPW and such. Does anyone know the details of that?
Well, he showed up there at Tokyo Dome. I don't think that was for any no reason. I think obviously they'll probably allow him to perform over there.
Okay. Yeah. So,
That's
I
my
mean,
guess.
yeah, I mean, he's a workhorse, so he loves to do his thing. I think he's gonna, wrestle a lot, and if he's happy what he's doing, then more power to him. But like I said, I don't think any of these signings are like light the world on fire. None of these are as big as Tito Ortiz on the August 1 morning. So,
TJS, think of these like NXT is still the WWE bubble, but you have OVW who has that special on Netflix that's gotten them some attention. NWA, people, dumpster fire, whatever, but it still exists. TNA, hey, these are the territories in 2024.
Hey,
right?
pretty much.
Where wrestlers can go to work when they're not in the big two companies.
Yeah.
All right, Aaron, anything you would like to add? Some super chats?
Yeah, welcome back, Walter. We thought you lost you there for a minute.
Yeah, nobody pissed me off. I just kicked the Ethernet cable when it came out.
Whoopsie. We're live, pal.
Okay.
Mr. Tito sent it a $2 super chat. Thank you, Tito. He says, a bad TV won't matter for these ex-WWE mid-carders. All right. So I think you're right on that. Like, until they can get back on some sort of a national TV deal, like, they're glorified indie promotion.
Mm.
The show was all right from what I could see, and I did not watch a lot of it. I only saw a few clips here and there. Production-wise, it looks okay. Looks like a slightly above average indie promotion. The venue they used was decent. The matches seemed fine for what they were, but I did watch the Top Dollar segment, and it felt very amateur hour in my opinion. And Dana Brooke showing up, she's not a needle mover. She's not going to make any difference whatsoever. She's just another former WWE star. And that is one good thing about wrestling in 2024. There are options for people. And I'm happy she's able to find another job in wrestling. But she's not going to make any real difference for TNA. No surprise she's there. No surprise Top Dollar is there. We figured that TNA would get the bottom of the picks from the talent releases. Now, I was a little bit surprised by Dolph Ziggler because I figured he would go to AEW. The only thing I can think of is that Dolph Ziggler, Nick Nemeth, wants to have as much freedom with his schedule as possible. If he goes to AEW, I could see them wanting to sign him to a long-term contract and have him be more committed. Like, I could see him still doing New Japan, but I think that they would want him to sign a long-term contract. And the impression I get, and this is just speculation, I feel like he wants to be able to do whatever he wants, maybe do TNA, maybe do New Japan, but then focus on his other stuff outside of wrestling. I think he just wants to have fun. The guy was in WWE for almost 20 years. Crazy. He made a lot of money. He had a very good living, and he doesn't need to be heavily committed into anything. He can dip his toes all over the place, do some TNA, do some New Japan, do his other projects, and maybe one day he'll go back to WWE. You never know. But if he signs a TNA, or not a TNA, if he signs an AEW contract, he's going to be committed there long term. So maybe that's just not something he wants to do. And you look at their roster in AEW, like, it's bloated right now. I don't even think it's the right time for him. Like, if I'm Nick Nemeth and I'm even considering AEW, I would wait and see what happens with the roster they got, and maybe find a better opportunity to come in where you could be at a higher profile position. Like, if he shows up in AEW, yeah, he'll be hot for a couple weeks and then he'll get lost in the shuffle with the rest of them. So I think he's making the right move right now. More power to him. And that's pretty much all I have to say on that. You know, I'm not going to be watching TNA on a regular basis. Like, it was just okay. But, you know, there's 6 hours of wrestling as it is between Raw, SmackDown, more than 6, more like 7 or 8. Can't even do the math here. You got 5 hours with Raw and SmackDown, and then 4 hours, so 9. You got 9 hours of national television just with WWE and AEW. or
Aaron,
10 if you include Rampage. TJS?
TJS, hold on one second. Aaron, back in the day, you watched WWF and WCW. Were you big into trying to catch as much as you could from ECW, or did you just kind of stick to, I was kind of the same way. I'd see some stuff, really never got the pay-per-views until they were like on video. Then I would catch up with them, or that late night hour slot they used to have at 2 a.m. back in the day. On a Saturday night, I'd watch that, but I never went out of my way beyond the top two.
And here's the thing. 90s wrestling was very compelling, but when you added on SmackDown and you already had Thunder, by that point, like, I had to start picking and choosing. Like, Thunder was the bottom, so I pretty much stopped watching Thunder. Although when Russo came in, I did start watching it again, and then when they did the Bischoff and Russo era, I was watching it more often because they upped the star power. But for the most part, like, I had trouble following all of the shows. You know, Raw would be the priority, SmackDown, Nitro, and then Thunder would be last. And right now with the pecking order, like, TNA is just way down, and I just don't feel compelled to follow it. And, you know, I will report on things if something major happens, but other than that, I really have no desire to watch. And I'm not sure that there's anything that is going to change that. I don't know if they could potentially sign anybody. Maybe if they got a national television deal, but they would need to really up their talent roster. You know, with all due respect to guys like Tommy Dreamer, he's a legend, but I mean, he should not be in a high profile position wrestling matches on pay-per-view events. I think he was on the kickoff or whatever. TJS?
Real quick, I just wanted to say something that always drew me to TNA was the X Division. But now, modern day wrestling, it feels like every single match in anything besides WWE is the X Division. You know, we see the Canadian Destroyers, the Suicide Dives, all that. So I feel like the X Division, you know, it doesn't feel as special anymore.
There's really no way for them to stand out. Like, they just have lost anything that made them different from the rest of the pack. Like, what brought them to the dance? Like,
everyone
wrestling's evolved, and there's no desire for TNA in the marketplace. There just is no void for them to fill at this point. They're just a glorified indie.
Before we started getting the Thunders and the SmackDowns back in the day, there was one extra show that kind of hit the spot, at least early on. And it wasn't Shotgun Saturday Night. It was Sunday Night Heat, early Sunday Night Heat, because they did it well. I'm not saying because Russo wrote it or whatever, but it really set the stage for Monday Night Raw sometimes. Yeah. And that, to me, was the sweet spot of an extra wrestling show. Yeah. I wish they could go back and follow that formula again. And that night, I don't know, something about that.
You're right. Like, when Sunday Night Heat first started, they basically just used it to set up Raw. They do the angles, and you actually had a reason to tune in because you want to see what's coming up for Raw. And it kind of prepped you for Monday Night Raw. Like, I really liked the initial format.
It was an hour, right?
Yeah.
It was like an hour. That's it.
And then sometimes it would be right before the pay-per-view on Sunday night. So it was a nice little lead in to the pay-per-view, and they would do angles to set up the pay-per-view. Like, that was a good format for WWE. But then SmackDown came, and that was pretty much the beginning of the end for Sunday Night Heat.
Yeah. All right, Aaron, anything else, or we're ready to move on?
We're ready to move on.
Okay. TJS, I'm not going to start with you first because you want to start on the CM Punk topic. So,
okay,
Walter, I don't know. I really don't have much to say about this, but it looks like Sting's final match. It's going to be a tag match with him and Darby Allin versus the Young Bucks. And, I didn't want Ric Flair to be involved other than when he comes out as a manager, poke somebody in the eye. I'm entertained by old Ric Flair when he does that stuff. Aaron said it should be Sting and Darby Allin one-on-one. That would have been kind of nice little finish, and Darby could have maybe had a safe match. Something about it, man. Now they're going to embrace their dickish ways, coming out looking the way they look. And, if somebody like the Young Bucks, and you can even say this with Jack Perry, I don't know what's going to happen with him in New Japan, but if you embrace being hated and become a heel out of it and do it the right way, I'm going to give you props. The Bucks have had that opportunity and they still haven't won me over. I'm just like, this is it for Sting. What do you have to say?
You guys know how I feel about the Young Bucks. It rhymes with Buck. How I feel.
Really?
How I feel about them. Yeah, F the Bucks. But I thought the whole point, because last night, JJ brought this up when we were watching Battle of the Belts. We thought that Jericho and Sammy were going to win the tag titles so that they can then lose it to the Young Bucks, so that Sting and Darby can win it on his last match so he can retire a champion. But now that doesn't seem like it's happening, what the hell is the point of this tag match? I guess it's Sting's hide his weaknesses. He's up there in age, and all he's been doing is tags so that he doesn't look as bad, even though he's been doing crazy dives and doing what he's done. Maybe he can't just go one-on-one, and they don't want a 3-minute match with him. So
it could be FTR or somebody where the match would be good.
Exactly. They could be different teams, and I just don't get it. This is probably the EPVs pulling power, and they booked themselves. Like Tony just sat on his hands and let them book this themselves. They probably found the way to do this as a way to go ahead, Aaron.
Well, apparently, I mean, this is coming from Dave Meltzer, so it is what it is. But apparently,
he's the most credible one out of any.
I mean, to be fair,
one of them, Mike Johnson too.
Him and the Young Bucks talk. So
yeah,
apparently Sting wanted the Bucks, and maybe Sting is becoming a mark in his old age. He wants a 6-star match to end his career. Do you believe
that, Aaron? Like, again, Meltzer said it. He's got sources. Do you really truly believe, like Jeff Meacham would say, and I'm not throwing shade at Jeff, Steve Borden would say backstage, Bucks got to be my last match? I don't know, man.
You know he wants to hang with the cool kids. He's doing these dives off tables.
Well, he is
and
with
all these
Darby
high
Allin,
spots.
I guess.
Yeah, like Sting wants to have the AEW experience. He wants to have that wild match with all these crazy spots. I think that's what he wants. He wants to go out on that note. So, at the end of the day, it's his decision, and I respect it. I think a one-on-one match would have been better, but he's 64 years old, so maybe he's just not physically capable of doing a match and feels like he'd be better off in a tag match where he can get a 5-star match and people say, yeah, that last match was really great. He did all these crazy things. And I think, for the smoke and mirrors too, like a tag match is better. Like they have the Bucks there. Maybe Sting can do a dive. The Bucks can be standing there for 10 seconds to catch him. That sort of thing. Sting gets to do all that cool stuff in his final match. Maybe do a Canadian Destroyer. Maybe Sting and Darby will do the what's the move? The Indie Taker or whatever. Maybe they'll do the Meltzer driver on the Young Bucks. Maybe they got some stuff cooked up that they want to do. And Sting wants to get those. This is awesome. Fight forever. Like he wants.
This is
guarantee awesome. He's going to get those chants. That's what he wants. So it is what it is.
I think Aaron, the standing ovation he gets is going to be longer than the match. Probably.
Yeah. All right. So Aaron went. Walter, you good? TJS, want to speak on this before we go to the main event?
Yeah, let's talk about it. Virtue, I agree. There's no way that Sting was backstage like, yeah, give me the Bucks for my final match. Like, I'm sorry, but I cannot believe that. And just because it's a tag match doesn't mean that it's not going to be bad. Because I don't know if you guys remember Ric Flair's last match where he passed out twice in the match. He didn't do a lot of work. I guess Sting is about 10 years younger than Flair, so that's good. But
yeah, I think there's a big difference, though. Sting's older, but he's not the Ric Flair situation. So yeah. I think this isn't going to be that. Sting's proven that, he's taken some weird bumps at his age, but it's not going to be that bad. But I see where you're coming from.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I would have rather seen FTR versus Sting and Darby, like you said, Virtue, or Darby versus Sting. I mean, they could have had a 10-minute match, Sting and Darby. Sting just beats him down for 10 minutes, and then Darby rolls him up to win, and then they hug after. I think that would have been fine.
Aaron,
Darby could have went heel.
Did you see what Steve-O said, guys?
Yeah, Ric Flair should be
join the Young Bucks. and all dance and celebrate in the ring afterward.
To be honest, I would rather see Flair versus Sting than this Young Bucks match.
What? Come on.
Yes, I think that would be fine. Over at least that would be a spectacle.
Do you have a fetish for people dying or something?
They can die with dual heart attacks in the ring.
That's why Sting wants the Bucks. Maybe he wants to die. He's gonna go out there and break his neck, do all these flips, and maybe he wants to do
Sting's
that.
winning his last match, so I can't see him losing.
But in all seriousness, we know how this maybe that's why I'm just tired of the tag matches. I think that's what my problem is, because it's so formulaic. Darby's gonna do the bulk of the work, and then Sting's gonna get the hot tag. Bam, that's it. And I guess I'm just tired of it.
Well, hey, we talked about some AEW, so therefore the AEW faithful cannot be mad. But now let's talk about some CM Punk. All right, first of all, Aaron, are we all caught up on Super Chats? We good to go?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. Should CM Punk win the Men's Royal Rumble, most likely would choose Seth Rollins, hopefully gets night one main event, gets to headline WrestleMania, or Elimination Chamber in Perth, Australia, to get to WrestleMania. What are we talking about here? Now, we'll probably talk about some women options, Royal Rumble winners, as the weeks get closer to Royal Rumble. This is not about Cody Rhodes right now. Like, we're going to talk about him later on. This is about if CM Punk should win Rumble. And I'm going to speculate here that this is most likely going to happen. Punk, Rollins, WrestleMania. So, TJS, there's two paths here for Punk to get to Rollins. If Rollins is the world champion and should be, have at it.
Well, I'm glad that I'm getting to go first on this because I've been feeling this way for a while. I was going to save this for the prediction stream, but I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Yeah, I think Punk is, I'm willing to bet money that Punk is going to win this Rumble. It's been 10 years to the day since he walked out. So I think they're trying to right all of those wrongs from 2014. That left us a bad taste in WWE's mouth and Punk's mouth. And I think they're going to try to redeem themselves. I think Punk is winning. I think Punk is going to WrestleMania. And I think Punk is main eventing night one and winning the title. Like I said, I think this is all about righting those wrongs from 2014. And I wouldn't be surprised if Punk wears the exact same gear that he wore in 2014. If he comes out at number one like he did in 2014, I think that's, like I said, this is their way of undoing it, even though I know you actually can't. But I think they're going to do their best to do that. So, yeah, I think Punk should win the Rumble. And I know he's being advertised for Elimination Chamber. So I figure he's just going to come out there and, do a promo. But 100%, I think Punk will and should win this year's Royal Rumble. And like I said, it's all about fixing what was broken from 2014.
Is that perhaps, did WWE put that graphic out where it basically shows Punk's going to be at Elimination Chamber? You think that's to maybe get people thinking, oh, he ain't winning the Rumble if he's going to be there? You know what I mean? Because why would a Royal Rumble winner go there just for a promo? Exactly. So maybe that's to take people off the scent. But, I like what you said there. I'll let Walter go next. And then, Aaron, I'll talk last on this. So go ahead, Walter.
Okay. Out of those two options, I'll be happy either way. I'll first say that. But I would prefer him to win the Rumble to get to the main event. And only because I'm one of those people that feel like the Elimination Chamber, the titles should be defended in there. I don't like that the winner gets a title shot. I'm one of those people that think the champion should have to defend his title because any other time during the year, you can win a stupid 20-man Royal Rumble to get a title shot, or you can win a regular ass one-on-one match and become the number one contender, and all of a sudden you get a title shot. Why all of a sudden? I know it's WrestleMania, the big deal. You got to go through this hellacious thing where people are in pods and go eliminate and go through all that, and then you're not guaranteed to have the title. It's just for an opportunity. You went through all that, and you're not even the champion at the end of it. So I'm one of those people that believe in the chamber, the title should be defended. Even though with Roman, that ain't going to happen. But maybe with Seth, who knows? But yeah, I'd rather Punk win the Rumble and then it's 100% guaranteed that he's the main event because I feel like that's why he re-signed. Obviously, we can't stipulate in people's contract, but I wouldn't be shocked if he put that in his contract when he I got to get the main event of WrestleMania, otherwise I'm not signing this thing.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt, but I think that's a big incentive. I think that's a big incentive. I think that probably the day Triple H called up CM Punk, he said, "Hey, you want to win the Rumble 10 years to the day of you walking out and then go in and main event WrestleMania and win the title." I have a feeling, obviously I wasn't there. I don't know. I didn't hear the phone call, but, Punk, when he was interviewed about this like years ago, he said it would take a lot of money and the right story for him to come back. And I think he's getting both right now, and I'm happy for him.
I'm definitely happy, but I'd rather him win that.
I hear what both of you say so far, and I'm going to pass it to Aaron next before I give my opinion.
Right now, CM Punk and Cody Rhodes are the odds-on favorites to win the Royal Rumble. I would expect one of them to win. There could always be a curveball. Now, the fact that CM Punk is at Elimination Chamber doesn't necessarily change my opinion on where this might go, because I thought that maybe Cody would win and then CM Punk would win the Elimination Chamber, but maybe they're going to do it as a title match. Who knows? The only issue I have with CM Punk winning the Royal Rumble is that he needs to challenge Roman Reigns. Like, they have to somehow come up with a logical reason for Punk to go after Seth Rollins instead of Roman Reigns. Even though Roman Reigns is the Universal Champion, you have that bad blood between Seth Rollins and CM Punk. However, if I'm CM Punk, I'm going for the top guy. I'm going for the night 2 main event. Why would I go for the night 1 main event? Roman Reigns is the real WrestleMania main event. So if I'm CM Punk in storyline, I'm going for Roman Reigns. I don't care about my beef with Seth Rollins. I want to be the night 2 main event. So they have to come up with a damn good reason to explain CM Punk choosing Seth Rollins if Punk wins. If you have Cody win, then you can either do the WrestleMania match or however The Rock is going to fit in. Doesn't matter. If Cody wins, then you can just have CM Punk win at Elimination Chamber. And then CM Punk can face Seth Rollins at WrestleMania night 1, and Roman Reigns versus The Rock or Cody Rhodes or both, whatever they're going to do for night 2. TJS?
Yeah, I get it what you're saying, Aaron, because it makes Punk look kind of dumb for not saying, "Oh, I'm going against Roman Reigns." But I want to counter argue that Damian Priest has not once tried to cash in on Roman Reigns. He's always tried to go for Seth. Why? They don't care about that logic. Either that or they're not.
But people have used that briefcase to cash in for the United States title,
Which is dumb.
Yeah, that's also
true.
He
hasn't had as many opportunities to cash in Roman. He's barely there.
You're gonna just wait till I go here.
Yeah, well, I mean, either way, I want Punk versus Rollins, and even if that leads to Rollins turning heel or doing what the corporate ministry did and showing up outside of his house, like they did in 1999 to Vince. Maybe they'll show up outside Punk's house. It's got to get personal. Aaron, do you agree? Would that incentivize you a little bit? Would you like that? Would that be better for you if Punk won the Rumble and then went against Rollins? If it was personal beef?
They have to have a damn good reason. Whatever they come up with, it would need to be significant enough to overlook Punk not going after Roman Reigns. Walter?
I just wanted to add the bow on what Aaron's saying. Wasn't Punk like the longest reigning of the modern era before Roman? So you got a built-in storyline if you've chased Roman right there.
Yeah. And I mean, The Rock, of course, throws a big monkey wrench into all this. What if The Rock shows up and wins the Royal Rumble? I mean, that never say never, right, guys?
So, based on what you said, Aaron, if CM Punk wins the Royal Rumble, he has to just challenge Roman Reigns not to look dumb. He has to challenge Roman Reigns for WrestleMania to make Roman look like the top attraction. I think the winner of the Royal Rumble should be the one that challenges Reigns, which would bump Punk to having to win at Elimination Chamber to get a shot. Now, some curveballs that could happen if Punk wins the Rumble, then it makes sense if Roman, and I'm still, the only way this is going to happen, if Roman loses the title in this fatal 4-way, it's because The Rock is going to show up and be the one to cost him. Then I'm okay with Punk winning the Rumble, because then he can challenge Seth Rollins. Roman's no longer the champion. You got Rock Roman, no title. all kinds of moving parts here. And that's good, I guess, going into this, knowing that there's several different things that could happen. I'm just not a big fan if Punk wins a Rumble, Roman stays champion, and Punk challenges Rollins. It diminishes the guy, the man who's done this for 3 years now, Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
Seriously, the winner of the Rumble needs a challenge, Roman Reigns, and we can talk about Cody in the weeks to come being that guy, unless the curveball happens and they take the title off Roman because of The Rock to really create that bad blood. I mean, Roman will be furious at The Rock if that happens. That's the only way I would. I mean, and it probably will still happen the way you guys spelled it out, TJS. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to quickly say maybe this could be like an out for them. What if you have Punk win the Rumble and then you have him teasing that he's going to go after Roman, but then we see like a sit-down meeting with Paul Heyman or something where Heyman convinces Punk to not go after Roman. What do you think of that? Would that be like an out? Would you not be satisfied?
They have to do it the right. Let's be honest. Royal Rumble winner aside, who challenges Seth aside, I don't care how they get there. I want to see The Rock versus Roman Reigns night 2 of WrestleMania because it's more probable than ever. That's what I want. That's the exclamation point I want through this whole discussion, even though we're talking about CM Punk winning the Royal Rumble.
Rock is, you know what, Virtue, I think a little bit ago we talked about this and you said, you know, it's been teased a little bit, but they've not mentioned it on WWE TV like this. And they're The Rock versus Roman, that is. And they're continuing to do that because we saw the little interview where Roman was getting out of the car and they said, "What are your thoughts on this?" And he just did a laugh. And I think, and I think The Rock is posting more than ever on social media about WWE. So, you know.
And TJS, say The Rock does come and cost Roman the title in the Fatal 4-Way. Like, people want Cody to finish a story. They're so gung-ho that Cody has to beat Roman at WrestleMania to finish the story. So you're saying if Randy Orton wins the title by default because of The Rock, goes to WrestleMania, Cody gets to WrestleMania to challenge Orton and beats Orton, the history they have, that's not the story finish either? Why not? Why not? But anyway, like I said, there's so many moving parts. Let's just see what they do. I mean, that's kind of good because we're all smart fans and we all have it figured out. The dirt sheets know exactly what's going to happen. In this situation to WrestleMania, nobody knows. WWE can go one of several directions with all of this. And The Rock dropping that line made it even more. Yes, Walter.
I just want to add to what you said. The story isn't about him fighting Roman. It's about getting the title his dad couldn't get. It's about that championship. It doesn't matter who holds it. Cody can finish the story as long as he ends.
History with Randy Orton to me is just as good as beating Roman Reigns. And the fact that Randy was the one to take it from Reigns after all that time.
Exactly.
And then if Cody beats Randy for it, what's diminished? Nothing's diminished. And then everybody gets what they want. Rock and Reigns happens.
Yeah. And maybe Punk does win the Elimination Chamber. Cody can win the Rumble, and then Punk wins Elimination Chamber, fights Seth Rollins, night 1 main event, night 2 main event. Maybe Roman Reigns loses the title before WrestleMania, and Randy Orton can have it. Maybe it's Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton in the night 2 semi-main event, and then in the final match, it's Rock versus Roman. Maybe Rock versus Roman is Elimination Chamber. There's still a lot of question marks, and it's very intriguing. But right now, I'm leaning towards Cody to win the Royal Rumble, but Punk definitely is up there in contention. Walter?
Another thing people are like completely skipping over, like I know it's a low chance, but AJ Styles debuted in the Rumble and he's in this Fatal 4-Way. They can go full circle and make him win this title because he debuted at the Royal Rumble. So who knows? I mean, I know you got the Orton history, but there's so many ways, and that's what makes the road to WrestleMania this year so great. It has a lot of bumps and curves, and we don't know which way they're going at all.
If Orton wins a title again, what is it for him? 15?
15.
That to me, if Roman somehow drops it, and again, the only way that's going to happen is if The Rock shows up and costs him. Randy's the only one. LA Knight, not there yet. Maybe a year from now. And AJ, not at this point. Now with Randy Orton in the match, and I don't know. That's it. Anybody else got anything else?
Yeah. Really quick, have they announced the SummerSlam venue yet?
Not yet.
Okay, so
Okay.
I just want to quickly lay out what's going to happen and my prediction. I think Reigns retains. Okay, hold on, let me back up. Punk wins the Rumble, and then Seth jumps him maybe the same day, and then Punk says, "I'm coming for you at WrestleMania." And then after that, you have Roman retained in the Fatal 4-Way, and then at the end of the show, you have Rock come out, stare down Roman, point at the WrestleMania sign, and we get that match at WrestleMania. We get Punk versus Rollins at WrestleMania. Cody beats Roman at SummerSlam. I'm okay with that because if Roman is going to beat Rock, I do not want Cody to beat him shortly after that. I want this reign to get stretched out just a little bit more. I'd be fine with it.
And if that happens, the way you call that happens, does Reigns pass Hogan? I think so.
Could happen.
There you go. Yeah. I mean, again, moving parts, possibilities. That's what you want as a wrestling fan. Okay.
Yeah.
Walter?
One more. I just wanted you guys' opinion on what I said about the chamber, and how you guys feel like that. Because I feel like those chambers should always be about the title, not the title shot. Like you going through all that hell, just a possibility to lose the title match too. Like,
well, keep in mind, there'll probably be a men's chamber and a women's chamber. So the women can have the main title or something, or a shot for a title. The men, they can do Intercontinental or US. You know what I mean? They don't have to have everything for a main title. They've done it before, right, Aaron? For an Intercontinental. Yeah. So, yeah. You can have the women main event, Australia.
By the way, Roman Reigns has not surpassed Hogan yet. He has to make it to like September of this year. Because Hogan was champion for just over 4 years. He won in January 84, lost it February 88. So
he'd have to have it past SummerSlam then. Okay.
Correct. To beat Hogan. Which, I mean, if Reigns gets out of WrestleMania as champion, he's beating Hogan's record. Yeah. I mean, there's no doubt about it. So
I will be shocked if that happens. If somehow he's a champion and Rock challenges him, it's very likely that it will happen. But if it was Cody and they didn't let Cody do it again, I would be like that guy when Undertaker lost at WrestleMania. That's my expression would be. But again, that's super troll. There's no way they're gonna let that happen. Okay.
I mean, I suspect he's gonna lose it at WrestleMania, and that's I'm sticking with that. We got our predictions coming up. I might change my mind, but probably not. I think Roman Reigns will be champion going into WrestleMania.
All right. Good show, everybody. And we're under an hour, so let's go around and do our plugs and see if we can get out of here. Everybody's watching football. Go ahead, TJS.
Hey, great to be on again, guys. Like I said, WWE is very hot. Rumble season is, we're on the road to WrestleMania. Can't wait to watch Rumble. Very cold outside, so make sure you stay warm, folks, and follow me on X at TYLRJSPHSMTH, and enjoy Raw tomorrow. It's in Little Rock, my state. I should have bought. Maybe I should, since it's Jinder versus Seth.
Well, you should. I mean, there's tickets still available, so go buy a ticket. You got to go and potentially witness history. Jinder Mahal winning the WWE World Title.
I'll bring my work laptop and I can just work from the hotel the next day. And I will legitimately consider it. I'll look at the tickets and we'll see, because like I said, do not hinder Jinder.
I mean, you go to these house shows and now you have an opportunity to see Jinder Mahal potentially becoming the world heavyweight
and
champion.
CM Punk, right? CM Punk will be on Raw tomorrow night, probably, right?
Yeah. Okay, I really want to see Punk live. So, you guys, you might have just convinced me to buy a ticket. We'll see.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe a cash in. You never know.
Could be.
Well, anything else, TJS? This is your last spot here.
That's it. Thanks, guys.
Okay. Walter?
Yeah, I'll make mine quick before Psycho Jet Black adds some $2 super chat. It makes us keep going or something. The Twitter is at Walter Alex Cruz. The Instagram, Cowfire Farms. The Rage of Wrestling YouTube. You can catch the watch-alongs from last night from Battle of the Belts and Collision on the channel. Also on Casa de 18 and Jeff Meacham Network. So that's it for me. And thanks for always having me up here.
Mr. Reliable. All right, Aaron.
Thank you all for tuning in tonight live despite football. And thank you to everybody watching this on demand. We'll probably have more on-demand viewers than usual. I think we're taking off the Super Bowl. Am I right? If so, we'll just do it on a Tuesday or Thursday that week, because I know everybody loves their Super Bowl. Yeah, that's February. We'll be on Sunday for the next several weeks, so stay tuned. I'm really excited for Royal Rumble predictions coming up. That's going to kick off the 2024 Prediction League. Follow Noah Foster and Foster 1916 on Twitter, and you can get situated with the Predictions League, and just stay tuned to NoDQ.com for the very latest. And that's all I got, Virtue. Let's sign it off.
X.com. Follow me if you dare at NoDQ_Virtue. And be sure to go to NoDQ.com/merch. All the Virtue shirts are over there. That might be the man that wins the Royal Rumble. For Walter, for Aaron, for TJS, and the whole NoDQ crew and galaxy, I am Virtue. This has been the NoDQ review number 268. We will see you again next time. Good night, everybody.